welcome to another video. And today's video is the story how I got my residency card here in Mexico. So it probably took me a lot longer than most people because, well, I was having every issue that you possibly could have. Thus, I'm making this video. Because if I hadn't had all the issues, then there would really be nothing to talk about. So, I got a place, I got a phone, I had kind of, looked at some things, but not the official stuff because, I never could tell if it's actually, what I need to know or if it's just something somebody put out on the internet, right? So I just like to go to the place, right? So I got the things that, I knew I needed to have, and I went there. And I applied for basically like a refugee status, which takes longer because I was eligible for just pay status, right? So they gave me a paper in Spanish. So, and the first day I went there, which was Wednesday. Okay, so I go back. There's a website on the bottom. And basically the information that I needed was in Spanish. So I go to the website and there's so many different things, little bubbles, options that the website does. So I didn't realize that I could cross-reference this paper. So the packet more like it was more than just one piece of paper. The packet, if the name was on the top of the packet, that name was on one of those buttons. I didn't catch that. So I clicked the wrong button. Went back with the wrong paperwork, which you have to fill it out online, then you have to print it, and then you have to take it back to them. Okay. Took it back to them Thursday. Wrong paperwork. Okay. So now I understand the directions now. Basically, the website's at the bottom, but then what you're supposed to do starts up here, and then the options you're supposed to click are here and here, and then, the translation happens so the questions can get answered. All right. But you got to figure out the Spanish part first. All right. So that was pretty much all day Thursday. They're only open limited hours, like 9 to 3, I think. But they closed early on one day because the holiday, okay? So now, Friday, I go back and it's time to, I only had cash. If I had a debit card with that much money, a credit card with that much money, which was 20,000 pesos, which is like 1,000-ish, a little more, I think, maybe. So so there's 3 things that I'm paying for. I'm paying for something. Then I think another thing is like a fine. And I only guessed that because it went up. Stay tuned to hear about that. And then something per year something. And they were like, you got to pay for 4 years. Okay. So I'm short like 1,500 pesos, literally like $100. And after leaving my place with $10,000, a little over $10,000, it's now about 2 weeks later, And, I haven't really done anything extravagant. Yeah, I've eaten some nice meals. It was basically had a little bit of alcohol, but, there was no, it was just all fees. So, hotels and this type of thing, right? Okay, so I'm short. Now, and the bicycle ride's crazy. Like the bicycle ride is from one end of Mazatlan to the other end of Mazatlan. Like it doesn't, the potential, I mean, the airport's way farther away than all that, but just within like city area, like the maximum distance, like 10 miles, over 10 miles each way. Okay, so now it's Friday. I'm desperately trying to get this because I need to get this to get a bank account to be able to have money. Then the money's already gone, so the desperation is set in. And I have met a couple people. So I go ask one person. They're like, bro, paying rent. They're paying their landlord rent, like right then and there. I ask another person. Same story. But they suggest, they go, there's a pawn shop. It's like, oh, okay. Now, I'm in a rush. Everything I own is all the way to the other end. I'm all the way over here. Everything I own is over there. So now I text this person that runs this property management company, I think. I'm like, hey. They're like, cool, send me a code. Had no idea. Handed the phone to this person that was just standing there. He goes to the ATM and does the whole thing, and here comes the money. This is where I made the mistake. I should have immediately gone into the bank right then. I had all the money I needed. But in the process of waiting to hear back, I went into a pawn shop and started talking to them. The woman that works there calls her husband. He speaks perfect English. He starts, da da da. So I've got this whole thing. Now I've left there to go do the bank, right? So I'm like, oh, I got to get back there because sure, I've got all the money to pay to get my ID, but I have no money to live. Like I'm literally got no money. So I need more money than just the money that I'm getting or that I got loaned to me to pay for the ID card, right? Okay, so left the bank, shouldn't have done that, should have gone in the bank, paid that, and then gone back and dealt with that. That would have been the smartest thing to do. But I didn't want to keep them waiting or disappear on them, so I went, and now, I'm in this whole running all the way back out here, going into my trailer, okay, here's a generator, now we're going back there, we're getting the money, I get the money, I go straight to the bank. Literally, they close the door. Now, I thought they were closing early for the holidays, but banks in Mexico close at 4, not 5. So I literally missed the bank by 1 minute. Okay, great. Now it's going to be all the way until Tuesday because it's the holiday. Oh, wonderful. So Tuesday comes around. Now again, the bike ride. So riding, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to the first bank I see. Another horrible idea because the problem was that, multiple problems. I go to this bank out in the Golden Zone, pay the money, go all the way down. Well, one of those 3 things that I was paying that I really didn't have any clue what they were, just, one of them's like a fine or something for like that accumulates more and more and more the longer, I'm assuming like the longer you're in the country without something. I don't know, then you are just accumulating. That was up to over 5,000 pesos. So now I get down there on Tuesday, relatively early, give them all the paperwork. They're like, yeah, but now it's days later. That number was for, because it actually had switched between January and February in that time as well. They're like, that was January's price. You have to now pay. And I had to pay it at the same bank, which the Golden Zone's like halfway between Centro and Cerritos, right? So it's like, I got to ride all the way back to the Golden Zone to pay like 260 pesos or something like that. Okay. All the way there, all the way back. And now I've run out of glucosamine. And I don't even know where to get it at that point. And my friggin' knees are just like screaming. I don't have knee problems, but if I just use the heck out of something, it just hurts. And I was using my knees like massively. So like I was just like in pain. Like my hips were hurting, my knees were hurting. And now I go back and I'm just beat, right? Okay, here I just paid the 260 or something like that, pesos. And then, this is where it just gets crazy. The lady at the bank put an extra letter in my name. So the receipt was wrong. So I had to go all the way back again. That was Tuesday. And I literally just was like my head on the desk. Like my knees hurt so bad, my back, my friggin' hips, like everything just hurt. Hands, like just everything was just in pain for days. Even though I took like 3 days kind of off, I didn't have any long bike rides in 3 days, I was still just wrecked, right? Oh, now I gotta go again. So I get up the next day, or actually I go back that day, heading back to the bank, and right when I get to the bank, there's cops. Like something happened at the bank. There's cops in the bank. There's cops all around, talking with people. I'm like, oh, fuck. Hey, no, the bank can't be closed. It wasn't closed. But yeah, something had literally just gone down. Not sure what. So I go in there, and of course, like, the guy that's with the teller that I have to go back to has a backpack full of cash that he's putting cash to the thing, and then she's slapping the cash on the machine, and it just goes on like this for the longest time. So no chance to get back to the office again. So now it's the next day, Wednesday, and I'm off again to there, and boom, I got it. I got my ID. Went right to the bank, got an account. That's literally all it took. But the advice that I would say, number one, I think there's a bunch of different ways you can qualify for stuff. So I can't just tell you to click the right box and all that. Like, you got to go in there and tell them stuff, and then they'll tell you what your options are. Maybe there's like some people that know ahead of time or whatever, but from my absolute none experience, just going into the office and just, telling them what's up is, the best first step to make, right? Like, yeah, like I said, probably like a lawyer or something like that, but if you're taking this from advice, for me, just go straight in. Don't even stop for anything. Then get a little better directions. Maybe use a translator or something on the paper, because they just give it to you in Spanish. Now, I would imagine somebody has already turned that paperwork into English and has it somewhere, but you'd need to know what category you fall into in the first place. So yeah, it's just kind of one of those deals. So anyway, like, subscribe, peace.
Thank you for watching my video.